Everybody, I picked up this Dunlop 95Q switchless wah. I've always liked wah, and I always hated the switch factor. I hope you'll consider watching my brief comments on this awesome modification of the classic Dunlop wah wah pedal. Well, you know, I grew up in the 70s and I listened to a lot of music from the late 60s and early 70s, like Cream, Hendrix, and Jimmy Page, and they always had a wah-wah pedal, or a lot of time, all those bands, and it's a great sound. I know some people consider it dated, but you can use it in a lot of different ways. So several years ago, I bought this Dunlop Crybaby classic. I think this one was only $70. I've got to give them that. It's a big sturdy pedal and it works well. And I think it was $70, so you can't really go wrong. But the only problem I ever had was switching it on. So when I first got it, it didn't. I plugged my guitar in and I couldn't get my guitar to sound. Then I actually got down on my hands and knees one time when I was playing with some guys in Atlanta, and I was pushing this with my finger trying to get it to come on. And I was never sure. There's no lights or anything on it. I got this, and it's like a black box. And a couple times I got it to work, but a lot of times I just couldn't switch it on. Now, I'm sure that's my incompetence. A lot of people say, well, you don't know what you're doing. But the fact is, I would push my foot down, and I couldn't tell if it was on. Maybe it was or wasn't. So I did some kind of fun videos with it about 2 years ago, like Presence of the Lord by Blind Faith. I found a good backing track. That's a great wah-wah song. But mostly... But mostly I quit using it. Like I said, I actually took it to I was playing with some guys in Atlanta before the pandemic, and I took it out there, and I couldn't get it to sound, and I actually got down on my hands and knees because we were standing to try to push it, and I just gave up after that. I said, and then I was looking. Now I looked at some Morleys. I was just kind of looking online, and they had a switchless wah. And I'm sure the Morleys are great, and the switchless wah is good. I did read some people like the Dunlop sound a little better than the Morley sound, and vice versa. But I know Morley makes great pedals. But I was always kind of partial to the Dunlop tradition of the Crybaby. And then I saw they did have a switchless pedal. And it's this one, the Dunlop. See, it's a Crybaby 95Q. And... man alive, this, I plugged it in. When you push your foot down, it wahs. This one, see, that's one difference. This one, it doesn't really have a spring, so you have to push your foot down. This one springs back. So you push it down, and then it springs back. So as long as you just have your foot off it, you're just playing clean, straight guitar. You push your foot down, and you've got a great wah-wah pedal. And I don't think the sound is affected. I read, you read some of the Yelp reviews or the user reviews, and a few people said it didn't sound as good. It lost something, and I don't know. Now I need the fainting couch because the mids were a little off or something. But basically, it was the Crybaby sound. Boom, switchless. And like I said, I think it's more or less a Morley type of switchless pedal. And I think it's a great addition to the wah-wah pedal. And I don't think this one was maybe $100, I forget. But I don't know why. I don't even know why anyone would want another Crybaby other than this switchless one. It's so much easier to use without having to switch it on and off. Really makes a big difference. So I like this one. And when I got it, it's got a few knobs and buttons on it. That's volume, variable Q. I didn't mess with those too much. I'm not even sure how to talk about them. Mostly, I just plugged it in. It uses a regular, I plugged it in with my regular Boss pedal type power supply. It worked great. I put my foot down. I got a wah-wah pedal. If I didn't want to have wah, I just took my foot off the pedal. Boom, And like I said, I love the sound of this. But I was wondering, why would they even have this one anymore when this is so much easier to use? I don't know. Maybe it's the tradition of the wah. Or I don't know. Maybe I don't know if is there any advantage to this. It's a little cheaper. Like I said, you got to give them this. That's a big, heavy duty, sturdy pedal, and it sounds great. $70, I think I paid for this, brand new. But that switch factor always threw me. And, a lot of times when you're playing, you don't want to be sitting there, am I on or am I off? And I think I'm on, but maybe not. And, so I got this, and I highly recommend it. If you like wah-wah pedal, I would get the 95Q. I'm sure those Morleys, which are switchless also, and they probably have some other switchless. But if you like the Dunlop Crybaby, I recommend this 95Q because you don't have that double switch. So here, when you want to play wah, first you have to switch it on, then you wah. So you have to, you kind of mess with your foot. This thing, you just put your foot down and you've got a wah-wah. And it's a lot. I think it's a much superior design. I don't know if there's any disadvantage to it that I'm aware of. Like I said, on the internet, some people said it didn't sound quite as good, but I don't see that. It sounded like a wah-wah pedal to me. Final thing I wanted to say is I think a wah-wah pedal is a cool effect. I like playing them. If you like classic rock, they obviously have a great tradition, and you can make it sound like that. I also think they're kind of cool for ambient guitar, and I kind of admire ambient guitar from afar. One of my favorite channels is at Chords of Orion, and I watched him, and he gets those drones and all those cool things and sort of those echo effects, and I've tried to do that, and I'm just not savvy enough with all the pedals. But I think the wah is kind of an ambient pedal. I think it's a good one. And there's just, to me, a no comparison. I mean, this is just it's great, but I don't ever want to try to worry about whether it's on or off again. And this thing, I don't have to. And like I said, Morley's I think the Morley pedals are switchless too. That maybe is one of the reasons they came out with this. I know the Dunlop Crybaby is kind of a classic design. Maybe they didn't want to mess with the design. So this is pretty much what, you know, Hendrix or Clapton or someone would have played. In fact, I saw Clapton in September, and I saw some close-ups of his pedal board, and he was using a Crybaby. But I don't know if it was one of these. To me, this is just so much easier. Like I said, I'm sure it's something I could have maybe gotten used to, or I didn't. But to me, if I get a pedal and I mess with it for a few minutes and I can't get a good sound out of it, to me that's not a pedal I want to really mess with. You know, because to me, you know, when you take your guitar out of the case and plug it in, you want it to sound good. So, well, I highly recommend this awesome pedal. It's really, truly good. Switchless Dunlop Crybaby 95 QY.